Kirk is the only Star Trek captain we've seen in two Starship Enterprise successions. Across Star Trek's long history, the captain's chair of the USS Enterprise has been one of the most coveted and scrutinized positions in the entire franchise. Many Starfleet officers have commanded ships named Enterprise, but only one captain has been shown taking command in two different successions of the Starship, James T. Kirk. This unique narrative quirk not only makes Kirk a standout among Star Trek captains, but it also reinforces his larger-than-life presence in the canon. The first succession, taking over from Pike. In the original Star Trek timeline, Kirk's first major succession came when he replaced Captain Christopher Pike as commander of the USS Enterprise NCC 1701. While early Star Trek canon kept the specifics hazy, later series like Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, and The Cage's retroactive inclusion in the timeline gave more context. Pike, portrayed in modern Trek by Anson Mount, was a seasoned and respected captain who had a profound impact on the Enterprise's crew. Taking over from such a strong leader meant Kirk had enormous shoes to fill. When Kirk assumed command, the series presented it as a clean transition. By the time audiences met him in the original series, he was already settled into the role, leading a 5-year mission that would define Starfleet's frontier spirit. His leadership style, bold, instinctive, and sometimes rule-bending, marked a clear shift from Pike's more measured approach. This was the first Enterprise succession Kirk made his own. The second succession. From Decker to himself, Kirk's second Enterprise succession was unusual because it didn't involve a completely new captain taking over. It was more of a reclaiming. By the events of Star Trek, the motion picture, Kirk had been promoted to Admiral, leaving command of the newly refitted NCC 1701 to Captain Will Decker. This should have been the start of a new chapter for the ship, but fate had other plans. When the VGR crisis emerged, Starfleet needed the best, and Kirk, never comfortable behind a desk, saw his chance to take the helm again. In a rare case of on-screen reverse succession, Kirk displaced Decker, assuming command during a high-stakes mission. While this caused friction between the two men, it also reestablished Kirk as the Enterprise's commanding officer, at least temporarily. His return underscored the deep connection he had to the ship. For Kirk, the Enterprise wasn't just a posting, it was home. No other captain has done this on screen. Other Star Trek captains have handed over the Enterprise to successors, or in some cases, inherited it from a predecessor. But no one else has been shown doing it twice in distinct historical moments. Jean-Luc Picard took command of the Enterprise D after it was presumably captained by others following the destruction of the Enterprise C, but we never saw him replace a predecessor on screen. Christopher Pike has now been shown handing the ship to Kirk in Strange New Worlds, but Pike himself didn't take over from another Enterprise captain in a succession shown in the series. He was already in command when audiences met him. Jonathan Archer commanded the NX-01 Enterprise from its launch until its decommissioning, no successions at all. Rachel Garrett and Edward Jellicoe captained Enterprises in brief appearances, but without on-screen handovers. Kirk, by contrast, has a rare narrative footprint. The series showed him inheriting command from Pike in one era and reclaiming command from Decker in another, giving him two distinctly dramatized captaincy transitions. Why this matters in Star Trek's legacy. Part of what makes Kirk's dual successions fascinating is how they highlight different aspects of his character. His first succession reflects the passing of the torch, the trust Starfleet placed in a younger officer to carry on a proud tradition. His second succession reveals an almost magnetic pull between Kirk and the Enterprise, suggesting that his identity as a leader is inseparable from that particular starship. It also says something about the mythos of Kirk in universe. Starfleet had many talented officers, but when the stakes were galaxy-shaking, Kirk was the one they called back, even if it meant sidelining someone else. For a franchise built on the idea that captains are irreplaceable icons, this decision reinforced the idea that Kirk's connection to the Enterprise was exceptional, a legacy that modern Trek still honors. Even in modern Star Trek, the shadow of Kirk's dual successions looms large. Strange New Worlds has been steadily building toward the moment Pike steps aside for Kirk, making the first succession more emotionally resonant. While no modern show has attempted a return to